Alright, for this video we're going to look at content standard number 7. You have your handout, or you can just look here, talking about animal and plant cells. And it says specifically to focus on the nucleus, the cytoplasm, and the cell membrane, but you'll notice there's also a list of other organelles you need to know as well. Those are the first three, the nucleus, the cytoplasm, and the cell membrane. You're also going to be responsible for knowing vacuoles, the mitochondria, and then in plant cells you'll need to know the chloroplast and the cell wall. So we're going to just take a quick look using the images that I gave you that are part of the handout. Let's look first at the animal cell. So when we look at these components in the animal cell, we have, let's start with the nucleus. Okay. The nucleus is the center of the cell. It's not always in the center, but it's going to be fairly large in size. Okay, this is just two different views of the same cell. Okay, we have the nucleus. The nucleus is the control center. Think of it like the brain. The bacteria is one of the only types of cells that doesn't have a nucleus. Most every other type of cell is going to have a nucleus. It's the control center. It's like the brain of the cell. The cytoplasm is like the jello. It's the gooey stuff that's all in here in the middle that helps hold the other organelles in place. So all this empty space in here isn't really empty space. It's like a fluid inside the cell. It's kind of helping protect things, and it's holding everything in its place. The cell membrane is the part that's on the outside. It's the protective coating around the cell, and it allows certain things to come in and certain things to go out. And it prevents certain things from coming in, and it prevents certain things from going out. So it's kind of the gate. It allows certain things in, but not other things. So the cell membrane is the outer coating that helps protect the animal cell. The next that you'll see that you need to know are the vacuoles. And the vacuoles are in the animal cell. They're small, and there's a bunch of them. So this is a vacuole. Any of these that you see in this particular drawing, these are all vacuoles here. And that's a good way to know that it's an animal cell, because there's going to be a bunch of them. In a plant cell, there's just one big one. The vacuole, let's see, it starts with a VAC. Think of a vacuum cleaner. VACU, actually. Like a vacuum cleaner. If you had a vacuum cleaner bag and you're sucking up things with the vacuum cleaner, things are held up inside the vacuum bag. So the vacuole holds things. It can hold fluid, it can hold waste, it can hold substances that the cell may need later on for food. It's kind of like a vacuum bag. It just holds a bunch of stuff. The next thing you need to know is the mighty mitochondria. And these are the little squiggly guys in here. This is the mitochondria. It's like the powerhouse of the cell. Okay? It releases energy into the cell. So just look for those, the telltale squigglies inside. They look like little footballs, maybe the threads of a football. Okay, that's the mitochondria. Now, as far as the animal cell goes, that's all you need to know. So on the sheet that I gave you, and if you don't have it and you're just looking at this, there's a couple of things that are mentioned on here that you don't need to know. You don't worry about the ribosomes. That's something you'll study later. You also don't need to know the endoplasmic reticulum. And you also don't need to know the chromosomes. You're going to learn more about that later. And you really don't need to worry about the membrane that surrounds the nucleus. Okay? So if you look at it, you just have the ones we're focusing on, the mitochondria, the vacuole, the cytoplasm, the cell membrane, and the nucleus. That's what you need to concern yourself with. All right? So let's take a look now at the plant cell. The plant cell has the same components in it. It just has two extra organelles the animal cell doesn't have. But there are some differences. So let's take a look. The nucleus looks pretty much the same. Okay? We got the nucleus inside both of these images. The cytoplasm, we still have the gooey stuff on the inside. It's like Jell-O inside holding everything together. The cell membrane, we still have a cell membrane in the plant cell, but it's not the outer edge anymore. It's just this thin layer here. What we do have is the cell wall. This is the extra protection of a plant cell that an animal cell does not have. They have the cell wall, and it helps provide structure. It helps give support and structure to the cell. So you have a cell wall that the animal cells don't have. Okay, we still have the vacuoles, but as you notice, in this one it's huge. Okay, and there's only one of them. This is a huge vacuole inside here, and here it is down here. Okay, so if you see a really large empty space in the drawing, you know that's the vacuole and that it's a plant cell. You still have the mitochondria in here that looks like the football. Okay, you still have that one that's the powerhouse. The other thing that you have in the plant cell that you don't have in the animal cell is the chloroplast. These little guys right here, little dots in here. Okay, this is what's used by the plant cell to turn sunlight into food. Plants possess this, animal cells do not. The main difference then, large vacuole in a plant cell, small vacuoles, and many of them in the animal cells. You have a cell wall in the plant cells that you don't have in the animal cells, and you have chloroplasts for turning sunlight into food that exist inside the plant cells but not in the animal cells. Okay? Quick review of plant and animal cells, and that will get you through content standard number 7.